Welcome to another horrid, very tired episode of the apocalypse. It's too late. It's the apocalypse. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, for you have chosen it, whether you realized it or not. Congratulations. I am your guide. If you wish to understand the current paradigm you find yourself in, unfortunately for all of us, then listen. I am not here to debate you, and it's beginning to remind me the scenario around the world. It's beginning to remind me of a video game I used to play as a child called Missile Command. Let's begin. Did Trump just trigger the most self-defeating chain of events in modern history? Israel drags U.S. into war with Iran. Hold on right there. Donnie was going to try and take over the world no matter what, Israel or not, if they didn't even exist. This was already the plan. Annex and Adolf Hitler. Blitzkrieg, annex territory, take what you want. That's Nazism. That's fascism. That's Rome. That's every empire that's ever been. Try and take over the world. Now it's actually possible. With the U.S. military, it's actually possible. And technology, of course. But Israel does play a part here. Everyone knows Vlad Putin and Bibi Netanyahu have compromised on Donnie shitbags. I assume one of the things Vlad has is the PP tape. That exists, son. And I know it does. Michael Cohen said it doesn't. That tells me it does. That fucker held back a lot of information. And he even started saying nice things about Donnie again. Maybe the podcast career isn't paying off. I don't know. He even admitted it was his job to get tapes that were a problem. And then he said the PP tape doesn't exist. Oh, yes, it does, son. That's why we got Donnie Krasnov. And if it ain't the PP tape, it's something way the fuck worse. Vlad got something on this motherfucker. And it's bad. You already know Donnie's a pedophile from the Epstein files, my God. Just what we've seen, let alone what they're hiding. My God, what must be in what they're hiding. And Bibi Netanyahu has compromised on Donnie. So you got two people leading Donnie around by the nose. For now. Till he turns on them. Donnie turns on everybody. Take a look at Miss Noam and the last 1 million that he turned on, and understand he will turn on them too. At some point. This is the Antichrist again. You don't have to believe it. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just telling you again. I'm explaining your paradigm. That's it. Take it for what it is, son. Do what you will with it. Do what ye will with it. So two people leading him around by the nose. Bibi Netanyahu did not always have compromise on U.S. presidents. A lot of them were alleged Christians, and the whole Christian GOP paradigm is we go with Israel no matter what. But no president has basically given Bibi a blank check and said, no matter what you do, we got your back. Never. We'll give you troops. He's already done it. 200 are there. American troops. They were there months ago, son. This is serious. So Bibi never had compromise and someone willing to go along for their own interest, to the point they'll give Bibi the entire might of the U.S. military. Bibi's never had that. He's been waiting for it his entire life. And now he's got it. And he got compromise on the motherfucker. But Donnie was going to be a warmongering beast, regardless. But since BB has compromat and Donnie wants in on the Holy Land, my God, he's the head of the Board of Peace and all that. So Israel drags U.S. into war with Iran. Oil surges in price. Troops die. Trump panics and lifts Russia sanctions so India can buy more oil. Donnie was always going to do that too. Slowly over time, bring Vlad to the table. Because he's Donnie Krasnov, Russian asset. I'm not kidding. That's who you handed the keys to. The enemy, son. So sanctions were lifted on some Russian oil. Bessent was on TV today. Secretary of the Treasury saying we will lift more sanctions on Russian oil soon. So they're doing it piecemeal, but this was always the plan again. But Trump does need this to happen now because of what he fucking started. But he was always going to bring Vlad to the table. That's our ally now, Russia. And that's not good. So again, Russian sanctions lifted. And they're going to lift more. And they're going to slowly bring Vlad more and more on board with us. Because that was always the point. And Donnie desperate now. Now oil's a problem. A big fucking problem, because it's easy to hit a boat with a missile, son. My God. They're rather slow. You don't even need good missiles. And Iran's basically saying, you know, we're going to shoot at anything that goes through that strait. They shut down a whole industry that the world depends on. Fucking dangerous. Donnie's already pledging that U.S. military ships might start escorting. Great, so now they're targets. They're easy to hit, too. They don't move that quick, son. Missiles do. They move real fucking quick. And a boat's only got so much anti-aircraft defense, I'm sure. So imagine Navy ships escorting, trying to get this oil through, and Iran hits a couple with some missiles. Man, that'd be fucking bad. And that's what we being set up for. Russia uses that money to help Iran. We just funded our own enemy, but that was always going to happen. People keep acting like Donnie's doing something stupid. No, he always intended to bring Vlad to the table. Now he's got a great fucking excuse. So that's what's happening. It was announced sanctions are lifted on Russian oil because of this problem. And Bessent said we're going to lift more. Bessent also said the heaviest bombing was coming tonight. Said that yesterday, so that would have been last night. It's what, 1 in the morning now? But then again, the bombing run might take place 2 a.m., 1 a.m. our time. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he said. Yeah, it got pretty chaotic pretty quick, didn't it? That's the thing about war. It's like a fire. Once you start it, that shit could burn for 100 years. Uncontrollable, just like the beast that started the motherfucker. MS now confirms Corey Lewandowski is also out at DHS. So the side piece is gone. Miss Noem and her side piece are now gone. They got special envoy of the, you know, Shield of Americas. And they get a cape and leotards. And they get to be superheroes. That's what Donnie told them. And they're not embarrassed at all. Cosplay cowgirl who likes to rut with subordinates a mile high on the taxpayer dime thought she was the star of the shit show. This is from the New York Post. I believe that's Rupert Murdoch's paper. Similar to the Inquirer, but still, it's Rupert, and he's put this up. Trump says Kristi Noem lied to Congress about getting his approval for $220 million ad campaign featuring herself. She didn't lie. Donnie's lying. But the money was still a waste, and she should be thrown out of the job just for the ad campaign alone and the spending. But Donnie wanted it. He wanted her in it. I've already read it all. How it happened. But Donnie doesn't like her saying he did because he got enough grifts, scams, charges coming his way if he wasn't going to throw us all in camps. So he don't need this as well. And that's basically, I assume that's what he told her. Honey, you said my name. I'm sorry. You got to go. I got enough arrows coming at me because I'm an abject fucking criminal. And you're supposed to keep your mouth shut. Don't bring my name to the hearing. You know better, honey. You're in the Reich. You know, dear leader doesn't like that. So this is the new talking point today. They set fucking John Kennedy, the representative, out. He's a Republican, I believe. And the talking point now is Donnie's putting out, Rupert's putting out, John Kennedy's putting out. He came on the shows today. Miss Noem lied in the hearing about the president. If she thought she was under the bus before, oh my God, she's really under the fucking bus now, huh? Cricket gets double revenge. Because you know what Donnie's actually saying? She perjured herself. She lied to congressmen in a hearing about the president. They could take action on that. They could be like, the president's saying you literally lied to us. That's evidence that, you know, you perjured yourself or you lied. She way the fuck under the bus now, son. They did a whole PR campaign against her today. That's how under the bus she is. So the new talking point, Trump says Noem lied to Congress about getting his approval for the ad campaign. She totally got his approval. Come on. But Donnie don't want that going around, so he calling her a liar. She thought she was the apple of his eye, what, a week ago? Now she out. Her side piece is out. And then they went on a whole PR thing today, all over social media. Kennedy went on the shows saying the president said she lied about him. My, fucking my, how things change. That's the beast. That's the Antichrist, son, right there. This bitch thought she was permanent. She believed it. She thought she was cruel enough, sociopathic enough. No one is, son. Not to Donnie's liking. And even if you are, if he needs a sacrificial pawn, or if you open your damn mouth at the wrong moment about the wrong thing, ow. I can tell by the PR campaign. The reason, she said his name, that he approved it. They did a whole PR campaign again. We'll get to it. This is Hegseth. He's at a podium. And this is important because they're putting this idea forward more now. This was not forgotten about. This didn't go away. Trump has drawn a new strategic map from Greenland to the Gulf of America. We call this map the Greater North America. That's Pete talking, saying that. What'd he say? From Greenland to the Gulf of America. Oh no, Pete really means to the top portion of South America. How do I know? They already took Venezuela, and the technocracy map goes to the top portion of South America. That's fucking Venezuela. So that's what Pete really means. He's giving you most of the map. Every sovereign nation north of the equator is not part of the global south. It is part of the security perimeter in this great neighborhood that we all live in. Then why you taking parts of the global south, Pete? Because you got a technocracy map to fill in. That's why, Pete. What the actual fuck is he talking about? See, this person doesn't know the technocracy map, and they're literally filling it in. And Donnie wanted Greenland last term. That means that technocracy idea was in his head back then. That map, at least. That idea that's been going around for decades, thought up by a Nazi scientist. It's real. They believe it. I told you about this. I can't remember if it was right before the election. I remember explaining Dugin to you and saying, this is where it's going. This is what it is. This is the movement. And again, what Dugin said in his little manifesto thing, AI is the future. We must control it. We must mold it in our image, the masculine MAGA type Trumpo-futurism movement. Mecha Hitler, if you will. Like what happened with Grok. That's what Dugin was talking about, literally. Literally that. And Leon demonstrated it for us. And again, back when I was reading that shit to you about Dugin, I could have looked real fucking stupid. I didn't know it was going to come true. I just had a feeling. Not only did it come true, it's the literal plan. It's the manifesto for the movement, son. They're molding AI how they want it. And eventually, only compliant AI will be allowed. Because they can't have AI being woke, like Dugin said, which means tell the truth. In other words, picture MAGA AI. That's what Dugin wants. That's what Leon wants. Really, Nazi Adolf Hitler AI. That's really what Leon wants. But let's call it MAGA AI. That's the AI for the world that will teach your children all that. That's what they want. Forever for this planet. Mecha Hitler teaching your children, if maybe that illustrates it better. That is their utopian dream. That Nazi ideology is being instilled in your children for the rest of time on this earth. That's their plan. Sounds real exciting, doesn't it? To them it does. Pete is literally talking about the technocracy map idea here. That's why they started talking hemispherically. Why phrases like the Americas, shield of the Americas, is being thrown around. I told you this was the plan. Right when they got elected. Right around that time. Right around that time. Fast forward, we're talking hemispherically. We got Pete giving speeches. We taking Greenland to the Gulf, baby. Drawing a new map. Yeah, I know. The technocracy map, son. That's the new map. New world fucking order. Like Mr. Carney said. This is what it looks like. The Technate of America, Technocracy Incorporated. I've shown it to you before. Don't forget it. That's their utopian dream, to start with this, the Antichrist, son. He wants it all, and he did take the Middle East. He runs it. This is what Leon, his daddy, his granddaddy, Thale, his daddy. This is what the modern Nazis want for our world. And they're trying to make it happen. That's why we keep hearing, let's annex Greenland. Let's annex Canada. Let's annex Mexico. Let's annex Venezuela. Let's take the Panama Canal. They want the Suez too. Remember the Signal chat with Stephen Miller on it, talking about extorting Europe and Egypt with the Suez when they take it. So does Donnie just want the hemisphere, son? Or does he want the goddamn world? Already got the Holy Land and the Middle East. He runs that shit. Board of Peace. Gets all the money, makes all the rules. Wants to replace NATO as a world government. If he's successful, and he will be. Only because he got the devil on his shoulder, not because of his own ability, not whatsoever. It literally says that in the story, son, that the devil gave him this. So he's already got the Holy Land in the Middle East. They've already discussed in private. They didn't want us to see that. Taking the Suez and extorting Egypt and Europe with it. So again, son, I know this was the original plan, but this is the Antichrist. And he wants it all, son. And that's how he's described. And it's described as one world government. Take a mark, or you can't be part of the system. That can be done now. It will be done. That New World Order, global government, Freemasonic pyramids, eyes, Satan. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what the devil does to you, son. He makes you do crazy shit. Like put a compass and square on your license plate. And bomb Iran. And mess with children. And rape and steal. And believe in bullshit Nazism and taking over the fucking world. And white supremacy. And exterminating people. Concentration camps. The devil have you down with that. That's the plan. That was always the plan. Before January. And I told you last January. Right when Donnie got in. And they talking about straight filling it. That's what Pete was talking about there, whether you realize that or not. That's where this whole idea comes from. Redrawing a map from Greenland to the Gulf. And further, Pete, you already bombed Venezuela and the whole goddamn Caribbean. And now you're in Ecuador fucking around down there. Sounds like you're going further than the Gulf, Pete. And you did. Donnie got the Holy Land again. They want the Suez. They want the Panama. Sounds like a world thing, a global thing to me. And no, son, again, I have to keep saying this. I really do have to say it because you people, what you did this past 20 years, what I watch you people do and preach and put forth, it was never the liberals, son. The liberals are the ones that get persecuted and locked up in both stories, 1939 and 2026. Both stories, same story. White nationalist movement. Only this time, it's the real Antichrist, not just an Antichrist, Adolf Hitler. This the real motherfucker this time. Not that Hitler was an amateur or anything. He killed millions. and almost took over the fucking world. But this the last one, son. And he got nukes, what Hitler didn't have, and a whole lot of treasure, thanks to you. Called tax money. And all, you know, a grift here, a grift there, worth billions, millions, whatever. Much more dangerous, son. Another thing Hitler didn't have, the American modern military with all the technology. My God. That's why this is even more dangerous than what Hitler was capable of and achieved. Infinitely more dangerous. And if it's what I think it is, the apocalypse, the Antichrist, then it has to end with a guy named Jesus coming back, because it gets so bad that man can't solve it this fucking time. That's the only thing that makes logical sense to me. If it's real. Again, I've never seen no magic in this fucking worthless life, man. This worthless existence, I should call it. Because I ain't just talking about my life. Because we're on this plane of imperfection and disgusting evil that the imp runs. Hence what you're seeing now. What you saw in 1939 to 1945. Let me move on. Dana Bash reports on a conversation she just had with Trump. That was on CNN this morning. He quickly turned to Cuba. He said without being asked, Cuba is going to fall pretty soon because we ain't got enough war going on, right, son? Iran, Ecuador. Talking about missile shortages and weapons shortages. Let's go fucking bomb Cuba now. What the hell? Why not, right? Jesus. And he just says this to people because this is the plan. This is what's going through his head. It's killing him that he just can't speak it, that he can't just Sieg fucking Heil and be free. It's killing him every minute, son. That he can't hurl the N-word around freely. That he can't go absolute full Hitler. He's been wanting to do it his whole life. And he's dying. He's so desperate for it. I can tell in every moment in the podium for 10 years, he's just wanted to just be free and just, you know, say what he really wants to say. And as bad as what we've heard him say for these 10 years, abominable, vile things, what he really wants to say, you can't even imagine how vile. So yeah, this is what's running through his head when a reporter calls him. So he just blurts it out. Yeah, we're going to, you know, bomb Cuba in a minute. Like tomorrow or something. Because that's in his mind. This takeover of the world. Son, do you realize how many places? How many Middle Eastern countries has he bombed? Iran now. And that's a major one because they really got weapons, son. They've been stockpiling missiles for a long fucking time. That's why it looks like Missile Command right now over Israel. Literally. Venezuela, Ecuador, Cuba. In between bombings, they'll talk about annexing Greenland or Canada. You already took the Holy Land. We know they want the Suez. That's over by Egypt, by the way, if you don't know. That's why Miller can extort Egypt and Europe with it. What does it sound like, class? What are we seeing here? What's the plan? Exactly what I told you last January. Take over the world. And we're literally watching it happen. All around the world. The Middle East, south of the border. Then he's talking about northern territories he wants. Greenland, Canada. Board of Peace, replacing the UN. He gets to sit at the top of it, be king of the earth. What's this looking like, class? Looking like motherfucking Armageddon, right? Right. Where else is it gonna go? Where else can it fucking go? Hopefully the good part, the Jesus coming back part at the end's real. Hopefully, because again, son, I ain't never seen no magic in my life. Never. Not even close. And that'd be some magic shit, wouldn't it? An entity called Jesus that walked on water once when he was resurrected. Coming back in the clouds or in the sky, everyone sees it somehow. And kills a whole fuckload of people. The fuck would that look like? Oh, I forgot. People are called up to the sky when he comes back too, I believe, to join him. And that's not the rapture, that's the end, son. Different thing. How the fuck is that gonna work? Because again, son, I ain't never seen no magic. That's some magic shit right there, right? It don't take no magic to kill, murder, rape, harm children, etc. What all the evil people do and the imp does. That just can happen. The magic part gotta take 6,000 fucking years. And hopefully it's real. As you're getting nailed to your cross or eaten by lions or whatever the fuck. Right? It fucking better be, right? I can't guarantee nothing, son. That's what I always have been willing to admit to people. Because I don't want to lie to you. And I ain't like the rest of humanity. I cannot prove God to you. I cannot prove Jesus to you. I cannot prove there's a heaven to you. I can't prove there's an afterlife to you. Although I have had experiences with spirits, Ouija board shit like that I shouldn't have been fucking with. When I was a young, stupid man. So I personally think there's an afterlife because of what I've seen with that board. Just from that alone. That thing works, son. And it's dangerous. It's a way for spirits direct access to you. Very dangerous. And all you will get is lies. Every motherfucking time. I don't care how much you believe it. Lies. Anyway. If you have one, I suggest get it out of your home. My advice. Because it's a doorway, son, and it's not a good one. No matter what it tells you. No matter how comforting it is. So how many wars, again... He's mentioning Cuba to a fucking reporter on the phone, willy-nilly. She doesn't even ask. We got missiles raining in the Middle East because of this asshole. Bombing girls' schools and shit. And again, I haven't heard the lie or excuse or fact that there were weapons there or something. No, they just bombed the girls. Okay. I guess that's what we left with. That don't look good for us. Not that any bombing of Iran looks good for us. So we going to move on Cuba soon, too. We ain't even done with Iran yet. And I don't think Iran done with the rest of the world yet either. Donnie's already, lost interest in that one, I guess. Do you understand how fucking doomed we are? And what this motherfucker's doing? How many countries does he have to bomb? He's done a fucking world tour already. And we've all witnessed it. And he might have stepped in some shit this time. Because I'm seeing some disturbing videos and some disturbing reports. And here's the best part. Israel is not letting much footage out at all. And what I'm seeing is bad. That means they're hiding a lot of the rest of it. And that's even worse. And I still don't know if I'm buying there's only 6 casualties, American soldiers. I just have a feeling there's a lot more. Again, I'm not talking 500, 30, 40, 10, 20. I don't know. I just have a feeling there's more. And we ain't being told about it. Anyway, I need to take a break. And I'll be back in a minute or two. No commercials, just talk amongst yourselves. Enjoy the ominous, empty black chair. Someone asked me in an email if they're the one that is harassing me And I said, no, it has nothing to do with you. Unless, I should have written, unless you're someone pretending to be that person, which is possible, then maybe I was talking about you. I don't know. Because that person does pretend to be other people. They don't have much of a life going, son, and that's what they do sometimes. So I'm thinking back on some of the emails, some of the questions, and you know, maybe they ain't who they say they is. Maybe they is. That's why I presented it last time as I have people that impersonate other people. So I have to be real skeptical when people approach me with things, because this has been done about 10 times over the years. They just can't let it go. And again, look, people, I'm going to be real honest with you right now. I don't think about nobody. Nobody. Because there ain't no future, son. It's all pointless. And what I realized at 50 fucking years old, it took me. There was never anything here. Not a fucking thing. Why? Because it's the imperfect realm. Realm of the imp. Literally. There was never any good thing here, son. Except one thing that came once. One person. His name started with a J, I think. I can't quite recall right now. That's it. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing. That's where I'm at. And it took 50 years. I finally get it. I get why Christ came here. And I'm not saying I'm going to live that life. But I'm taking it under advisement. Planted no roots. Nothing. This was meaningless to him. Performed his mission. Performed his duty. Got the fuck out. And that's it. And that's where I'm at. So I ain't thinking about none of you fucking people that have been thinking about me for fucking years. You need to let it go, son. You need to stop trying to put people in a cage. Before that cage will be yours. And it's guaranteed. You're just never going to change. So sad. And that's a message for a lot of people, man. I see people just go right back to these patterns. And they never grow. They never learn. They never do anything. It's just an endless cycle of stupid, worthless, fucking drama. And that's all they bring to anyone's life. What fucking good is that? No good, son. So many of you out there. You know all I wanted my entire life? To be left the fuck alone. To not have to endure you people. And you know who you are, various people throughout the world. You know who you fucking are. And just have a nice day and survive okay and be a little comfortable. That's it. That's all I've been trying to do in this shitty, pathetic, worthless fucking realm. And every time I turn around, I got some cunt. Let me tell you a story. Because the devil just gotta get me in prison somehow. I was about 19, 18 years old, and I was a cashier at a fucking supermarket. And some guy walked in and asked about certain bags, if we have them. I said no. He walked towards the door. I happened to look in his direction and smile, and I guess he saw me as he was walking out. So I'm helping the rest of the customers that are, after him. And this guy's behind me cursing me out like I stabbed his fucking child. Calling me every name in the book. And there's two things I could have done there. I could have jumped the counter and started some fight in the middle of a fucking grocery store with some piece of shit trash asshole that wanted to fuck with some 19-year-old kid. That's the devil's son. That's the world's son. I allowed him to curse me the fuck out. And since there was women and children and customers and it was my job, I'm like, I gotta stay calm here. And I finally turned around. I said, are you done? I said, you want to check under the register? What I should have done is called the little booth and say, can you call the police real quick? There's some fucking psychopath in here. This is what I mean. There was no excuse or reason for that to happen. You understand? That's not logical at all. I happen to smile in a man's direction and he wants to kill me. That's the human race. That's why I fucking despise you. That's why I despise this fucking plane of existence. Because I have gone out of my way, son, and I'm good at it. I am good at it. I've turned it into an art form of avoiding humanity. Why? Because of that cunt right there that I described. I could give you a million more stories just like that. Come out of nowhere, not provoked, nothing but the fucking devil. Then you make the mistake of allowing person after person in your life, be they friends, relationships, whatever. What do they bring to your door, son? Every time. It starts with a D. Almost every single human that I've dealt with. When all I was trying to do, son, was have a nice day and survive. Again, I've made it an art form of avoiding humanity because I know what humanity is. An attempt by the imp to get me locked the fuck up. At every goddamn turn. And eventually, his bitch ass will succeed, I'm sure. I'm amazed one of these cunts that I've encountered throughout my life, I haven't, hit him over the head with something. Because, man, that was the intention. by the imp that sent him to get that out of me. So again, it took me 50 years to learn a lesson. And you may see it differently. The lesson is there's nothing here, son. And it's an ugly lesson. Because it's the imp's place. That's why when Christ came here, he wanted nothing to do with it. That's why it says be in the world, not of it. And that's why he did that. Because this world is goddamn worthless. And all he came here to do was save some souls and go home. Because he knew it was goddamn worthless. Good for him. Smart man. But again, when you're that perfect, when you're that good, the world will hate you and kill you. And the closest people, not closest, but let's say similar, for they were human. People like Gandhi, Martin Luther King. Nonviolence always. They had much more patience than I had, that's for sure. With what they preached and what they were facing. What did the world do to them? You know the answer to that question. That's what the world does with people that are walking that path, trying to get there. Every time. Anyway, now that I've said all that depressing shit, Donnie gonna bomb Cuba. On top of all the other 9, 10, 15 bombings we've already had and are having. Kind of antichrist-y, right? Kind of Adolf Hitler-y, wouldn't you say? I would. Oh, the icing on the cake of this wonderful experience I've had here. I get to experience the apocalypse and the Antichrist and fucking World War III and Armageddon too. That's great. I was really, you know, needing that in my life. Thanks, Rubes. Thanks, oligarchs and techno fucking crats and Nazis and Satanists and fucking freak show assholes. Fucking idiots. Fucking eugenics and transhumanism and fucking AI and this dumbass, worthless shit. That's all of Satan. None of us need it. Anyway. This is a video of Kristi Noem, and they were talking in a hearing about Donnie possibly firing her. And she's sitting there smiling and just loving it and like, I'm going to be here forever. It's a great little video. I watched it. It's very satisfying seeing this and knowing she got shit canned. Kristi was so certain. So was Leon. So were the tech bros. Where's Kristi now? Where's Mr. Bovino? Where's Leon? Planet Labs says it will delay the release of satellite imagery of Gulf states for 96 hours due to security concerns. That alone tells me there's more damage in the Middle East and Israel than they telling us. And I was wondering if a few data centers got hit. Then I see this. Maybe a few data centers got hit. It's obvious this wouldn't be necessary unless there's more damage than they're telling us, and they don't want us to see it. That's simple. This did not go away. Don't forget about it, because it's coming your way. Trump admin to create nation's first ever National Guard response force to begin training troops for nationwide civil unrest, with some troops specialized in chemical, biological, and nuclear scenarios. Troops must be operational. NLT April 1st, 2026 per memo. This is the memo, by the way. The gray part at the bottom. We're not going to read it. We already know what it's for. We don't need to read it. It's for the midterms, or right before, or whatever Donnie's going to pull. That's what the camps are for as well. The civil unrest once Donnie rigs the election or cancels it. I'm not kidding in the slightest. Training a specific military force to deploy against you. And it's ready by April. The midterms are November. Got a nice little few month window in there to deploy. Maybe they got some camps up. Maybe they pull it early. Maybe they wait till the day before the election. Maybe they wait till they see the election results come. That's probably what they'll do. They'll let the results come in and see like how it goes, because Donnie will have hope that he's done anything to appeal to the masses. Then again, every election, he always says it's rigged before it happens because he's afraid he's going to lose. So maybe he'll do it early. Because he has no confidence in himself. He cheats at everything. Everything. So what does that mean for the last few elections? I think we know what that means. Because Donnie doesn't believe in himself. He wins by cheating, lying, stealing, criming. Always. Look, every time they ask him about that, they ask Hegseth, they ask Donnie, they ask that Colby guy. No one wants to talk about it, son. And if they do talk about it, they're real nervous. It's not a subject they like talking about. You know why? Because the plan was always to deploy this force against you and not have fair elections anymore, or elections at all. And they knew that. And they know this force is to deploy against you. Literally. That was the intent. That's what's going on. They know it. And they get uncomfortable when you ask about it. And that's how I know they know, and it's coming against us. So don't forget about this. Be mentally prepared. It's coming, man. Because again, Donnie's done nothing to appeal to the masses. Any elections take place, it's going to be a total mandate against them. It will be a goddamn bloodbath. And they know this. That's why the plan before they even got office was to never let that possibility take place again. Of them losing power, because they go to prison if they lose power. What does that mean, class? They're never giving up power. That's simple. Colby didn't even want to answer the question the other day, that Nazi fuck. That tells me all I need to know. And he's allegedly part of the training apparatus for these soldiers. He wouldn't even admit to it, son. That doesn't portend well for us, does it? This is Kennedy. Is he a senator? Or I'm not sure if he's a senator or congressman. He may be a senator. Oh, senator. All right. Louisiana senator. Yes. And that's what he looks like if you don't know. I know. I've known him for years. I know what he looks like. I know who he is. I've seen the racist moments. I've seen all kind of great moments with Mr. Kennedy. All of a sudden, he's the mouthpiece against Miss Noem. He talked shit to her in the hearing. I don't know if you noticed that. Talked big shit to her. Because Donnie had already put the, the word out. Yeah, we need to get rid of her. She said something she shouldn't have said. So the shit canned her, and they've deployed the PR apparatus. So this is Kennedy on Fox News running with the talking point, the new talking point. I was stunned when Noem answered categorically that the president approved every single bit of it. Later that day, I got a call from President Trump. He was mad as a mama wasp. He said, Kennedy, I hope you understand that I had nothing to do with this. I said, I do believe you, Mr. President. He was not happy. It was clear to me after that conversation that the secretary's time at the department was limited. To be blunt, she was as dead as fried chicken. Damn, they some harsh words right there. So she way under the bus. She ain't coming back. And they've made a conscious decision and PR effort to disparage her, call her a fucking liar. Donnie Kennedy, the right-wing machine. My, how the tides bloody turn, huh? Fuck. That's what happened. You said Donnie's name. You shouldn't have said it. That's simple. I'm going to take another break. Oh, I forgot to say, when I showed you that picture of her smiling as congressmen or senators were talking about the rumors of her possibly being fired, and she's confidently sitting there like, haha, you can't touch me. Laughing. I want you to remember, this woman is laughing about possibly losing the job and how they can't touch her. She's the woman that sent murderers out in masks to shoot that one woman 5 times, Miss Martinez, and try and get her locked up forever. She's the woman who sent out the ones who shot Good and Preddy. Never forget that. The first shooting we really saw, just like she shot the dog in the face, fat fuck Johnny shot that woman in the face. Never forget that cunt that was sitting there smiling is responsible for that. Okay. Oh, great news. Greasy Pete Thale, the pedophile, having a meeting with the head of Japan. So, you know, this worldwide, Greasy Pete's all over the place, spreading degrees. All different countries around the world throwing millions of dollars at him for his new surveillance utopia, oligarch utopia. Where, you know, maybe you get lucky enough to be a slave worker in a Vietnamese style factory doing them little iPhone screws like Nutlick has in store for you. Or maybe you get to pick cotton like Miss Rollins has in store for you. Not exaggerating at all. Or maybe you die young like Mr. Oz has in store for you. And Mr. What's his name? Junkhead Jr. RFK Jr. Or maybe you go along, you take the wearable, whatever they handing out, and you go to the lake. Either way, we get to experience the Greasy Pete Thale pedophile surveillance state. And all of the citizens' money across the world, the Japanese citizens, the American citizens, the citizens of the United Kingdom, Mr. Starmer gave Greasy Pete a whole bunch of money. You thought you were exempt? Oh, no, you hand in hand with the Reich, son. Mr. Starmer down, I can tell, for a lot of it. It's not the Iran shit, stuff like that. They'll still let him use Diego Garcia, though. He's not that not down. So Greasy Pete all over the place. He in Japan, he in America, he in the UK, he all over Israel. My God, is he in Israel? And what does that mean, class? That means the surveillance police, Peter Thale, Palantir, Psycho Carp, Cokehead Carp, police surveillance state where a drone can come kill you. Mr. Altman made sure of that. Powered by AI, driven by AI. Mr. Altman made sure of that. Leon tried, but, you know. Mecha Hitler, what didn't make the cut, I guess. Oh, did I mention I hate you? Just want to make sure I mention that. Oh, Indonesia said fuck the board of peace. They don't want to be part of it no more. They said fuck off. Now I'm wondering, did they get a refund on that billion? Cause son, if you hand Donnie shitbags $1 billion, don't think for a damn second you getting it back. That's already in a Qatari bank account. Shit. You best not ask for your money back. I hope you didn't pay the bill yet. Shit. Indonesia is suspending its involvement with Trump's board of peace. Indonesian Foreign Minister Sugiono said the decision to suspend participation was taken because of the latest military escalation in Iran. Indonesia is a lot Muslim, so it might be the Muslim thing. They don't want to go against. I don't know. All I know is, if they wrote that check already, Donnie cashed that motherfucker, and they ain't never getting the money back. So I hope you didn't write the check yet, Mr. Sugiono, sir. So Donnie's Board of Peace, Board of War is losing subscribers. They will not get their money back, though. It's non-refundable. Because I already spent that shit on hookers. Oh, God. I can't believe this is my existence. I'm in the apocalypse with rubes, Nazis, fucking concentration camps, and there's even one human on this planet acting like this is remotely fucking acceptable or normal. What the fuck is wrong with you? I must ask. And what's sad is there's a few billion that are down with this. I bet. Out of the 8 or 7 or whatever's on this planet. That's goddamn horrifying. What if there's more? What if my number's conservative? It's definitely not the majority, I know that. It's probably not even 50%. It's got to be 40 or below. I fucking hope. But it doesn't matter. They've already chosen it. They've already made it happen, so. And if we all, as a unit, as a country, would have mocked this out of existence like we should have, and never taken it seriously for a second, maybe we wouldn't be here. And like I said, son, everyone be crying at the end. How them gas prices looking? And you know, the overpriced rent, the overpriced house you bought, the overpriced car. Your overpriced healthcare plan where the coverage is horrible. Iran has likely destroyed the radar of the American THAAD system, defense system in Jordan. According to satellite images, Iran likely received the data for the attack from Russia. I don't know if that's true, but this person is pretty smart. And the place looks like this now. It looks like it's been bombed. Russia provides Iran with intelligence to target U.S. forces. Uh-oh, this is a straight-up headline here. So that's why they're saying it. We've heard about this today, though. And Donnie and Pete Hegseth brushed it off. So, yeah, I guess it is happening. They kind of admitted it. So it is true. But I've told you this before. Vlad will never stop attempting to destabilize this nation. He doesn't care if his asset, his puppet, is in charge. He'll still, that's the point of this exercise, destabilize here. Donnie's part of that, and Boise making it happen. Lockheed Martin and Donnie and weapons manufacturers had an emergency meeting, remember? And they came out with this today. A post from Donnie, and Lockheed put a post up too. Lockheed. And again, if the war's going so good, we got plenty of weapons, why we need to do this? That means we don't have plenty of weapons. The war ain't going so good. We have agreed to quadruple critical munitions production as a result of Trump's leadership. We began this work months ago with Secretary of War Hegseth and Deputy Secretary Feinberg. And then Donnie says, we just concluded a very good meeting with the largest U.S. defense companies where we discuss production and production schedules. They've agreed to quadruple production of the exquisite class weaponry. I don't believe they started this months ago. One. I don't believe they have the ability or capacity or anything to quadruple production. I believe it's total bullshit. What I do believe is we're running low on some shit. Because Donnie's a goddamn warmonger and he's bombed half the globe already. And he's given a shit fuck ton of anti-aircraft missiles to Israel. Because they fucking need them. Not Ukraine. Israel and Donnie's warmongering activities. That's why we're low. There's also an oil reserve problem, which I don't know how that's goddamn possible when they stole Venezuela's fucking oil. Leave it to Donnie's shitbags to steal the largest oil reserves on the planet, and he still has an oil reserve problem. Of fucking course. So I'm not buying this. I understand they had a meeting. I think Donnie's desperate. I think stockpiles are running low of things, of critical things. Donnie panicked. He called these people in. I need you to quadruple production. You can do that, right? And they were like, oh, yes, Mr. President, we could do that. How many millions are you going to get? How big's the check going to be that we're going to walk out with? That's all we want to know. And Donnie's ripe for that. They don't even have to have the ability to quadruple production. They only have to have the ability to say yes to the child, take the check, and go back to doing what they were doing. That's what I think happened. I don't think Secretary of War planned with them months ago to quadruple production. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a shortage right now. Donnie admitted that. He said there was a shortage of certain type weapons. Well, if Petey and Lockheed got this whole plan together a couple months ago, why the fuck's there a shortage? Oh, that's right, because they didn't. Donnie's running low from his warmongering and Israel. He panicked, called them in, like a child, like a dictator, like Adolf Hitler, like Kim Jong-un. I need you to quadruple production. You're going to do that, right? You can do that. Because that's easy to do. Oh, yes, Mr. President. Oh, you're going to write us a $10 billion check. Thank you. We can do that. We'll get right on it. That's what fucking happened. I guarantee it. Or there wouldn't be a shortage right now. These people don't plan in advance, except they're evil. They're not good at, logistic type planning whatsoever. I mean, there's a whole shit ton of people, because they stole the budget and fired everyone, stuck in the fucking Middle East. They're horrible at shit like this. They just like shooting fucking fireworks off, just like little fucking children. And I don't believe for a goddamn second any weapons manufacturer has the ability to quadruple production. Get the fuck out of here. These are missiles we're talking about. Very complex things. And the people they hire that put them together, they got to know what the fuck they're doing. That's not a skill I assume you learn in a week. You know what I mean? No problem, Mr. President. Adolf. We can quadruple production. Would you like us to start building gas chambers too? We can do that too, sir. How much money will you give us to do it? This is Donnie at some type of meeting today. Who the fuck knows? I don't even... And Doocy, the Nepo hire from Fox, it sounds like the Russians are helping Iran target and attack Americans. That sounds pretty serious, right? Not for Donnie Krasnov. That's an easy problem compared to what we're doing here. What a stupid question that is to be asking at this time. We're talking about something else. In other words, how dare you point out I'm a fucking Russian asset? And that I never criticized Vlad. And that he owns my ass. And that he's helping kill our troops. Chastise the Nepo hire, Mr. Doocy. Wow. And here it is, son. I've seen several pictures and videos that look like this. This can't be good, and I just got the feeling that this ain't going to be over in a week or a month. I'm hearing they're letting certain units know, 400-day deployment is coming. Get ready. I'm hearing they contemplating putting boots on the ground too. That would not go well. I hope they don't do that. 90 million people. This ain't no joke. This ain't Venezuela. I hope they don't. We'll see some caskets coming back. That's for fucking sure. If they let us. Or we'll see, the grieving mother or widow on CNN talking about it if the Reich doesn't, or if the Reich allows it. The fuck knows. They love hiding shit. This is why I say it looks like Missile Command, and I've seen several images this looks literally like Missile Command. That's not a good thing. That is the video game. That's what it looked like. That's real, son. These are the type of volleys Iran is firing. I've seen flower pattern. Just crazy apocalyptic shit in the sky. That is straight up Missile Command. I don't know if you know what that is. Atari 2600, look it up. Ask somebody. Holy fucking shit. Major missile strike at the heart of Tel Aviv. And I'm not going to show you 100 different pictures because it's really hard to find shit. And there's so many grifters out there putting up, or people that don't do any research. They see something, they post it in seconds. There's so many AI videos from the wrong time. Every time there's a fucking Middle East Israel thing going on. So many fake videos, the Israel-Gaza thing, that too. So many people put out fake vids trying to gain sympathy for their side. And it makes it so hard with this that's going on right now. You don't understand the hours I spent today posting a news feed, not here, but somewhere else, looking specifically for footage of what's going on between Israel and Iran and in the Middle East. The thing is, son, there just ain't that much out there, and I know things are getting hit. And they don't want us to see it. Because Bibi don't want to look stupid, and neither does Donnie. A German reporter explained, you're only allowed to film after the missile hits, and no military targets, only civilian buildings and stuff like that. Are any journalists allowed to film after the damage happens? That's why all the footage we're getting is fucking cell phone footage. And if you're Israeli and you upload some cell phone footage of missiles in the air, whatever, you face some severe penalties. So we ain't seeing much at all. And that is really pissing me the fuck off. Because I want to know what the fuck is going on. And I know missiles are raining. And they're hiding it. Because they don't want to look stupid. So this shit's hard to find. I spent hours today finding things here and there. But you got to sift through so much fake fucking shit. AI generated clips from 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. Everybody wants clicks and fucking likes. And pictures of missiles and bombs get attention. They get clicks and likes. And people don't know if it's AI, if it's from 5 years. They don't know shit. It's very discouraging, and it's really pissing me the fuck off. The Ghoul also spoke of the technocracy map. They're not speaking of it outright. They're speaking of the plan. But they're not letting you know it's the plan. So not only Hegseth, now you got the Ghoul out here. I'm wondering if he is a false prophet, because they're described as like a younger, smaller thing. And he's pretty small. That just occurred to me today. But I don't know. Still could be Leon. I don't know. Stephen Miller said, we're going to war with Mexico down to the tip of South America. That's the literal technocracy map. Fucking Hegseth said from Greenland to the Gulf. The Ghoul says from Mexico to the top of South America. Literally what Donnie did first. Venezuela. Literally where the technocracy map ends. So Hegseth discussed the top portion. This cunt discusses the bottom portion. And these are recent. These ain't from 6 months ago. This isn't pieced together. This is like today or yesterday they said these things. This is planned. You understand that? There's a reason Pete mentioned the exact top half, and he mentioned the exact bottom half. These are contrived talking points. They've strategized, obviously. This was the plan before they got in, that they were hoping to execute. Why do you think Steven's there? Why do you think we have a Fox News host with makeup on running our fucking military? Because this was the plan. The technocracy map, Nazism, white supremacy, take over the world. That hadn't occurred to me. They described literal half and half. That's contrived, man. Literal half and half of the map. The literal boundaries of the map, north and south. Pete did the top half, he did the bottom half. That's intentional. That's to get you used to it. Same thing Adolf Hitler did. You slowly move the masses towards this being normal. And obviously it works. And it's too late now. We're going to war with Mexico down to the tip of South America. There is not a criminal justice solution to the cartel problem. These organizations can only be defeated with military power. You mean annexation, and the drug cartels are the excuse to get in the country. Like they were an excuse to take Venezuela. Again, Hegseth, in one speech, describes the top of the technocracy map. Literally half of it. Then Miller gives a speech, and he describes the bottom half. The cover for everything they do, thanks to George Bush. The word terrorism. They don't have to ask Congress for war activity, permission. Terrorism, imminent threat. Inside the country, Antifa is a terror group that doesn't exist. Therefore, anyone we want will be Antifa. Your rights go away. One word, terrorist. And all your rights vanish. And that's what George Bush Jr. did. And Donnie running with that football out the stadium. Every bombing in the Caribbean, DTO. Designated terror organization. Because that gets them around the law, everything. Gets them around asking Congress for permission to bomb boats in the Caribbean. Gets them around asking Congress to invade Venezuela and take their oil. And ship the money to Qatar or wherever the fuck he put it. And we keep the oil. Remember when they asked him? Every death, every violation of rights, every deployment of mass Gestapo, either based on immigration or the word terrorism. That's how they got around your rights. Thanks to George Bush Jr. And the right-wing grift machine. The right-wing grift machine had been looking for a way to get around due process, the law, your rights, the Constitution for the entirety of its existence since 1945. And they found a way, boy. A couple buildings get hit, and a third one falls for no reason. And, you know, terrorists, terrorism, now we can do anything. That's the law now. So one more time, let's look at it again, class, because I know people have a short attention span. Better get used to this. They keep talking about it. Pete mentioned Greenland to the Gulf. I'm sure you can spot the Gulf from where you're at, right? You know where that looks like. And then from the Mexican border down to the top portion of South America. That's what Stephen the Ghoul was talking about. Using drug cartels as the excuse. To fill that in, to color it in, son. That's what you're witnessing. And they take in the rest of the world, too. Again, the Suez. Stevie the Ghoul wants that. Already got the Holy Land. Right in Donnie's pocket. How'd I get back here? Oh, I showed you the technocracy map, duh. That fucking missile spread, man, and those flower patterns of missiles. My God, I would not want to see that in the sky. Thank God for American missiles. Shooting them down, huh? Condoleezza Rice was just seen walking into the White House, son, today. What? Do you remember Condi? George Bush Jr.'s gal? They called Condi in. I don't know, son. You know what? I think Donnie's desperate. Calling in Condi Rice. Damn. When I heard about this, I'm like, Donnie must be really worried. Something must be going really wrong over with this Iran thing. Because Condi was there, you know, after the buildings fell and, you know, the 20-year war in the Middle East. Condi was a big part of that. George Bush Jr.'s gal, remember? So this is her field of expertise. Endless Middle Eastern wars. So, son, I don't really get any comfort about her showing up. In fact, it makes me more worried because it makes me realize the level of desperation Donnie is at to bring this woman in. And it's the only reason they would bring this woman in, for Middle East wars. The last time this woman was around, we had an endless war in Iraq, Afghanistan, etc. Not a good sign, son. Makes me think Donnie's worried and desperate. That ain't a good sign for us. That ain't a good sign for the world. That means this war is, things are happening that we don't know about. really bad things. And Donnie's worried. Hegseth asked about Russia helping Iran to target Americans. Remember, Donnie got pissed when the question was asked. Donnie acknowledged it was happening. And he got pissed that Doocy brought it up. We're not concerned about that. Yeah, we know, Pete. You down with Russia, says Donnie Krasno. We know. That's why we're concerned. And soldiers getting killed. See, Pete ain't concerned because he ain't the one that's going to take the bullet or the bomb or the missile. Donnie's not concerned because he ain't the one that's going to take the bullet or the bomb. Their worthless asses are safe no matter who dies. We're not concerned about that. The only ones that need to be worried right now are Iranians that think they're going to live. Okay, tell that to the dead Israelis and the dead American soldiers, you fucking piece of shit. That only the Iranians need to worry. And then he's talking about the whole country, you know, that as if every Iranian needs to worry about dying, thanks to him. Again, tell that to the families of the dead soldiers, asshole. Tell that to the families of the dead Israelis, asshole. So no, it's not just the Iranians that need to worry here. Or we wouldn't have satellite blackouts for 96 hours and fucking Donnie calling emergency meetings with weapon manufacturers. You wouldn't need the meeting if you and Pete planned it 3 months ago and started the process. Jesus Christ, they're such bad liars. It was a desperation move. Donnie's running low on shit. And he doesn't know what to do. So like a child like Adolf Hitler, call him in. Quadruple production for the Reich. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Der Fuhrer, says Lockheed. They can't quadruple production. Son, come on now. They're not bottling Pepsi here. They're building missiles, son. There's a shortage of people with that skill set. It's a very niche industry, I'm sure. So quadruple it. I mean, come on. Plus, is there the infrastructure to quadruple production? Fuck no. Companies run bare bones, son. They don't have extra infrastructure sitting around so they can quadruple what they're doing. That takes years. God, it's so ridiculous. And Pete just making light of this. Donnie making light that Russia is helping Iran kill Americans. Oh, that's no big fucking deal. It's only the Iranians that need to worry. Well, I don't know, Pete. I saw 6 caskets come home with American flags over them. I know you'll hide the rest, you fucking scumbag. But we saw the first 6 with the flag. And I know that doesn't mean shit to you. But they're the ones that might die as a result of this. And Donnie, too, he made light of it. I know it doesn't mean shit to him, but those families that lost the men and women in the caskets and the Israelis that are getting, entire apartment buildings halved. The Israelis that are dead and their family, maybe they might be concerned about it. These people are disgusting. And it just proves, once again, answers like this, it just proves Russia and Donnie, Russia and Pete, they're, it's the same thing. They're on the same team. The evidence is piling in now that ChatGPT and all other large language models are on a developmental plateau, and hallucinations will never stop. I told you AI has peaked. It's not progressing any further. Not a pathway to exponential improvement or to human-level intelligence. The data center build is pointless. OpenAI published a paper proving that ChatGPT will always make things up, not sometimes, not until the next update, always. They proved it with mathematics. Now, I've also read some stuff today because I can't report it all to you. It'll take too fucking long. That it's not just individual models of AI. It's all models. Because they all have access to the same training information, us, and what we do online, and what we say, and our biometrics, and whatever they have access to. In other words, there's no new influx of data to learn from. They've hit it all. There's nowhere to go. And another person made the point that AI will never be conscious. It can only be programmed to be what it is. That makes sense. And I agree with that statement. Its programming is its source. Could it do things unexpected based on that program? Yeah, I'm sure it could. But again, that's what the intention was with AI. Not it having its own consciousness. That's fucking fantasy. The intention was molding it into what we're going to see, the police state, the Trumpo-futurist whatever. So programming will be vital. It will be its God. It will be its scripture, what it goes by. And it will represent the values. It will be the image of whoever programmed it. So all models, since they have access to the same information, they've all kind of reached this intersecting point where one model won't be better than the other or worse or whatever as far as the results it gives you. Because they all have access to the same information. They're noticing a problem with AI quoting itself. That makes sense since there's AI explanations and overviews all over the fucking internet. The data center build isn't pointless for them. For us, we don't need AI in a society. Absolutely worthless. I told you a long time ago, there's only one logical purpose for it: to police us and be omnipresent. That's it. Nothing else. We don't need it for anything. We already had internet searches. We didn't need AI overview of internet searches. Do you understand the redundancy? And all AI is an algorithm, a programmed algorithm. That's it. It's not real. It doesn't have a soul. It doesn't exist. It's not real. So it won't be conscious. It'll just be programmed. And yeah, maybe sometimes it'll do unexpected things based on the program. So AI has reached its peak. There's nowhere really to go with it. And the data centers, again, will be used against us. That's why the oligarchy, the Peter Thales need them. The companies need them. And plus, this algorithm needs an infrastructure to operate, to live in, to be alive in, to be omnipresent in. That's also what the data centers are. Literal AI infrastructure for the thing to exist in. So it's not pointless for the oligarchy. It's just what they're looking for. That's why they're sparing no expense building them all around the world. A lot of them with your money. It's for them. It's pointless for us, yeah. Serves no real purpose at all. And we're at the end. And I must ask a question, because this looked pretty chaotic. And this is just one scene. I've seen others at different locations in Israel. If the war is going so wonderfully, why is there a chaotic scramble in the airport to get the fuck out of Israel? And it was chaotic. People were in a fucking hurry, son. Ben Gurion Airport packed with Israelis fleeing as war with Iran escalates. It's the promised land when you're stealing Palestinian homes, but when bombs start falling, suddenly it becomes unpromised, right? It's a good point. I watched this little video, and yeah, it was people fleeing to get the fuck out the country. And again, I must ask, if Iran's no threat, no big deal, no problem, if missiles ain't getting through, if Donnie and Bibi got it all under control, why is everybody fleeing Israel? Look, a 96-hour ban on satellite imagery, that means they're hiding damage in Israel and outside of it. Panics at the airport, that means there's more damage than we realize. And they ain't letting us see it. And there's a real fucking problem here. Otherwise, people would not be getting on a plane. No one wants to flee on a plane, put that kind of money, effort, time, energy, leave their home for God knows how long. Nobody wants to do that. That's a big deal when you're at that point. And with what Donnie and the Reich have done to air travel here, when Americans want to start fleeing because of whatever atrocity is going to happen here, I don't think it's going to go very well. And maybe that was the intent. Because fascists, dictatorships know that a lot of people will want to flee. So they make it illegal to flee. Because if everyone flees, then the dictator's left standing there holding his dick. Like an asshole. With no one to victimize, rule over, enslave, put in camps. If he allows everyone to leave, right? That's why you can't leave North Korea. That's why you can't leave Russia unless they let you leave. That's why it may be like that here. They need slaves, son. They can't have you leaving when it gets hot. Maybe that's the intent. So if Israel's doing so well, why do we not see any footage? Why is there a 96-hour blackout on the satellite imagery in the Middle East? Why are people fleeing in airports from Israel? Why is Donnie having emergency meetings with weapons manufacturers, lying about some plan they started 4 months ago or 2 months ago, when the meeting wouldn't have fucking happened if that was the truth? And no, they can't quadruple production. That's bullshit. They're not making, Hyundais here. Not that they're easy to put together either. That's a skill being on an assembly line with knowing what to do to put a car together quickly. But we're talking missiles, which are even more complex and large, and and how many people know how to build a missile? Even assemble the parts. I mean, how many people know that? Not many. I don't know, man. I just feel like they stepped in it in this. I think Bibi and Donnie made a mistake here. And I think this is going to last longer than we think. And I think it's going to get uglier than we think. because Donnie wouldn't be having emergency meetings. The airport wouldn't be packed with people fleeing. We'd be seeing footage. There wouldn't be a satellite blackout. Something's wrong. And I have a feeling this is going to spin out of control. It already has. And Donnie already planning on his next one, Cuba. And he hit Ecuador while this was going on already. I mean, this is fucking out of control, man. And it's exactly what I expected. Assad dropping. Getting closer to full Reich. Straight up Adolf Hitler annexation tour. Bomb wherever I feel like, do whatever I want. Drug cartels, terror, whatever. Write a list of how many countries Donnie's bombed so far. Do a search. Look at the list. And realize where you at, son. Realize that new military forces coming with hand-picked people, I'm sure, from like Texas and Alabama. All the traitor states. Expect them camps to be built. Don't expect a fair election in November, nothing even close to it, if we even have an election. Don't expect Donnie to leave. Don't expect the bombs to stop falling. And maybe expect an attack in response. Again, I wish I had some good news for you. I wish I could say there's a way out of this, but that's the problem. There isn't. And I'm not really a false hope kind of guy. I've done it before with people, but, really not appropriate at this time. I wish I could be that pastor that gives you hope and inspires you that it's all going to be okay. It's not. That's literally what this is. The apocalypse, I mean. Not being okay, the entire world. And again, according to the story, and I'm seeing a lot of it, in my estimation, playing out right before me. Of course, the horrid evil part. Of course. There's that Jesus moment at the end where he comes back and fixes it all. And some people go to the lake, others go somewhere else. That's kind of hope, but here's the thing again. I just, I believe in God. I'm a Christian. I'm here doing this every night, trying to point you in the right direction. Explain it to you. Hope you make the right choice. Explain the consequences. But even I have a lot of trouble believing that end part. So, I'm going to be real disappointed if it doesn't happen. Because it's going to the ugly place, son. So if it don't happen, I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side of this. That's why, for me, it has to happen. It's the only solution. There is no solution. Again, that's the point of the apocalypse, the Antichrist, the devil, this moment of 42 months, whenever that fucking countdown starts. It's untouchable, son. And it's written that it's untouchable. Unstoppable. Who can make war with the beast? So there's no turning back, there's no stopping it, there's no pausing it, there's no nothing. We already had our pause for 4 years. Kinda. So it's written as there's no stopping it. And from what I'm seeing, I mean, my God, every major company's gone along pretty much. Every oligarch, every scumbag has come out the woodwork to take part. Mass cunts, worthless lake fodder, kidnapping, murdering us. So I go into the ugly place, and for me, when I logically look at it, I can only think of one solution, and maybe that's why that solution finally happens. Because there's no other way. So I hope that end part is real, and even I have trouble believing it. I'll be honest with you. But what I'm seeing before me doesn't really make sense. I'm getting a very strong, it's got to be supernatural vibe, so I hope that other supernatural part is real as well. If I had to bet on it, as crazy as it sounds, after what I've seen this past 10 years, I would bet that it's real. Because none of this fucking makes sense. And it's a lot more dire, again, than Adolf Hitler in World War II. He did not have what Donnie has. He didn't have the final blessing either of the ultimate evil, the imp. And that's real, son. The imp told Christ, I'll give you the whole world. Just worship me. The whole world. Because he has the authority to do that. He can give that. Here. And he's given it to Donnie. For a short time. Anyway, don't take the mark. Have a wonderful evening.